In 1990, an incident that took place in Sampur, one of Russia's rural villages, initially appeared to be a simple house fire. However, the discovery of 3 bodies inside the burned house revealed that a horrific crime was hidden behind this tragedy. One of the victims was a former convict, another was a local criminal, and the third was an ordinary village resident. Who killed these men and why? The truth was far darker than it first seemed. In this video, I will tell you all the details of this mysterious crime that took place in the Tambov region. This story is filled with love, revenge, fear, and death. If you're interested in videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Now let's take a closer look at what really happened. On one of the hot days of September, it was just an ordinary day in the village of Sampur. People were enjoying the sunny weather and going about their daily routines. However, around midday, a local resident noticed smoke rising from one of the nearby houses. Firefighters were immediately called, and a brigade arrived at the scene shortly afterward and began extinguishing the fire. From the outside, the house appeared almost undamaged, but the interior had been completely burned. When the firefighters entered the house, they were met with a horrifying scene. Bodies were discovered inside the burned building. It soon became clear that these people had not died in the fire. All 3 had been killed by gunshot wounds. An investigative task force was immediately dispatched to the scene. One of the victims was the homeowner, Vyacheslav Samokin. He was known in the village as a quiet man, though he had a tendency toward alcohol. The other 2 bodies belonged to completely different individuals. One was a former criminal known by the nickname Furts, and the other was a local gangster named Aleksandr Finogenov. What were these 3 men doing in the same house? And who had killed them? The investigation revealed that the homeowner had been living with another man who had a criminal past. Vasili, who had recently been released from prison. Police suspected that he might be connected to the incident and began investigating him. Vasili was one of the most feared residents of the village. People knew about his past. Yet at the same time, he was known as a calm and hard-working man. Thanks to his skills, he helped villagers with house construction and various repair jobs. He wanted to change his life and live like a normal person. One day, he met a young woman named Larisa. Larisa was raising a little girl named Anya on her own. They fell in love and built a warm, caring family together. Vasili spoke openly with Larisa about his past. Years earlier, he had been imprisoned for robbing a jewelry store and had spent 8 years in prison. Now he wanted to stay away from crime for good. However, Larisa's past would not leave her in peace. Her former husband was Aleksandr Finogenov, one of the most dangerous men in the village. He was an alcoholic who had repeatedly abused his family and had been imprisoned for criminal activities. Until his arrest, he had tormented his wife and daughter. Larisa had finally managed to escape from him. But after Finogenov was released from prison, he had no intention of leaving his former family alone. From prison, he had written letters to Larisa, making it clear that he knew she had a new partner, and openly threatening to harm both her and her daughter. After Finogenov returned to the village, the first thing he did was try to find Larisa. He cornered her in the kitchen of the dormitory and openly threatened her. When Vasili learned about this incident, he became deeply concerned, though he tried to appear calm. Soon after, terrifying news spread through the village. Finogenov had called Vasili in for a razborka, a criminal-style confrontation that often ends in death. Vasili understood that if he faced him alone, he might not survive. Using his skills as an experienced craftsman, he made a homemade firearm at home to protect himself. He believed he would use the weapon only to intimidate, not to kill. However, Finogenov, Furts, and the homeowner Vyacheslav Samokin had gathered inside Samokin's house, waiting for Vasili. The moment Vasili entered, Finogenov suddenly stood up and pulled a sawn-off shotgun from under his jacket. The first shot was fired, and the bullet accidentally hit Samokin, killing him instantly. After that, Vasili used his own weapon. He killed both Finogenov and Furts. To destroy the evidence, he set the house on fire and threw the weapon into a nearby well. However, he could not escape the attention of the police. After fingerprints were found, Vasili was arrested and confessed to everything. The villagers believed that Vasili was innocent and knew that he had actually acted in self-defense. They appealed to the authorities, demanding his release. However, the court sentenced Vasili to 7 years in prison. Larisa did not wait for him. She started a new life and built a family with someone else. Vasili, after serving his time in prison, was released and tried to find his own happiness. This event was not forgotten for many years. The villagers continued to believe that Vasili had been unfairly imprisoned and that he had only been trying to protect himself and his family. Yet the court's decision told a different story. Do you think Vasili was truly unjustly imprisoned? Was he simply defending his family, or was he really a criminal? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and keep following us.